What's up, everybody? It's your boy Showtime Doctor. So, I wanted to weigh in on the costumes that have recently appeared in Overhit. A lot of people are freaking out. I do have some concerns, which I will address, but I did want to get to. I think people are overstating it a little bit, comparing it to Knight's Chronicle, which you see above me over here. Which I'm currently playing again, by the way, because they got rid of the old costume system for the most part. So what happened in Overhit, for those who don't know, you could see it on the left screen there. You pay, I believe it's the equivalent of about $30 or so, right around there. And you can get these costumes for certain units, and they give you, it's flashing right here, 300 health, 100 attack, 100 defense, which, quite honestly, I think that's something around like 3% once you get a character fully maxed in this game of base stats. While that is still alarming, it's definitely not going to make a gigantic imbalance thing right now as it stands, but we'll get more into that later. So for everyone who's comparing it to Knight's Chronicle did recently abolish their costume system, and trust me, I've had beef with Knight's Chronicle before. But they recently just got rid of it for the year anniversary, so for those who didn't know, they still have a couple in the game they're going to patch out. So Abel right here, right? Not only costumes technically were actually a better deal, even though I guess you can't see it in the capture. This costume's $20, and what it does, it's not only some stat bonuses that you can put into it, but it actively changes a lot of the skills. You can see here, you got a paragraph down here when it's just a sentence up here. And these are passives, so things get changed, and then some of the active skills start to change. But essentially what I'm telling you is none of the active skills in Overhit have changed as far as I know. Now, you people that play the Korean and Japanese version, you could tell me if that's eventually coming down the pipeline. And I'll be happy to resend my comments, but that's how costumes used to work. But the thing that made it really killer in Knight's Chronicle was because you could get by even with a lot of the costume changes in this game, but the places where it killed you were actually the dungeons, which in Knight's Chronicle they call advents. So, like, let's take one, for example, here. There's not a good one, but I'll just show you this one. So, Christian's Advent, right? It has this recommended heroes tab. You go over here, it's going to recommend, or excuse me, it's going to show you some of the stage effects. So this hero, you take him, she gets 200% bonus damage. Take this guy, you get stun immunity, 50%. But the thing that used to kill you was they also have some heroes that if you take them, they give you debuffs. So in this case, Kane, if you take Kane, all your skill cooldowns increase by 5 turns, which is essentially death. And same thing, decrease all allies' attack by 100% if Attar is in the party, which is essentially death. Well, what Knight's Chronicle used to do, and they've done it famously in some of the dungeons, is all of the units that you farmed previously that used to be really useful, they just ban them. Like, you know, like, oh, if you take that unit, yeah, your max HP for all your parties down 50% or something silly like that. And they would basically lock you into using certain characters, and they took it a step farther when they had, they would ban, there was this one instance where they banned Rue and Lydia, who are both really top tier supports, and they made you use Ramu, which I've already purchased Ramu's costume under the new system with the crystal currency. But basically, so you couldn't use the 2 heroes that you most likely had that you could get free to play. But they made you pay for a costume, which was $20, which would counter a lot of the really deadly stuff in the dungeon. That's what Knight's Chronicle used to do. Now, once again, they've stopped doing that, and I'm thankful for that, because that basically fixes most of the issues in that game. But, we'll go ahead and X that window out for now. You know, there is, the thing I am concerned about with this costume system in Overhit is, you know that it's not going to be, you know, forever they're going to offer costumes and they're going to be 300 health, 100 defense, 100 attack. Well, eventually, maybe a couple months from now, hey, 500 health, 250 attack, 250 defense. And then if it keeps kind of snowballing to that point, then eventually, you know, it's 1,000 health, 500 attack, 500 defense. That's when you start affecting the game a little too much. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you, Nexon, if you ever power creep the costumes to that point, I think that's probably going to be my cutoff, is right around that 1,000 to 500, 500 on any of those stats. I'm gonna have a seriously hard time playing this game unless those costumes become farmable in some way, either crystals or a long quest chain or something similar. I'm gonna get disillusioned, and I would probably quit the game over that. But as it is right now, this is like small stuff, so not gonna bother about it. But so personally, that's my opinion on the outfits. Now, I would like to tell you guys, this has actually become Overhit's actually become the game I'm having the most fun with right now, and I'm gonna get into that in more future videos. But one thing to show you guys though, for you guys that are like really pissed off because you can't get costumes. Oh yeah, you can. You can get costumes. It's RNG, but you can get it. So just go to your arena shop. In fact, I could just click the shop. My bad. Now y'all can see my arena record. Wants to load. Come on. Oh, it reset. Well, anyway, so every day in the arena shop, it puts a random costume in. Today it's Rise's basic outfit 3. It might not be every day, it might be every couple days, but because I had this yesterday. So they got some of the basic outfits there, so that they also put in emoticons for whatever reason. Oh, that's right, it's not reset yet, so yeah, these were up today. And, you know, if you're really into him, great, buy his costume, 3,000 currency. I mean, there's obviously useful stuff like stamina. You really need some of this other stuff, but you can get costumes if you're really into the costume mechanic. Now, these costumes probably aren't going to have the stat bonuses. It says basic costumes, but you can get costumes. So I heard a couple people on their videos ranting about how you can't get costumes, blah, 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 blah. You can get costumes. So, and then lastly, I'd like to address, and here's the thing. I got nothing against FG3000, and to be perfectly honest, I actually admire the man for the amount of hustle and work and all that he does. It's really cool. I think he's a really good guy. But I do think he overreacted on this. Now, that's not to say he's a bad guy. You feel however you feel. I understand that. So that's fine. However you feel is however you feel. I get it. But I personally think that's almost like how Jim Sterling overreacted to, oh, what was that game? Well, anyways, there was a game, it had to do with the psyche, I remember. Like some girl. Oh, I forget her name now. Well, anyway, so Jim Sterling, because he was in a race to play the game as fast as possible so he could get a review out of it. And he basically skipped the step where you're supposed to grab a torch in this one dungeon. And if you don't have the torch, you can't light up certain areas. And if you don't light up certain areas, you're basically dead because the beast comes and kicks your ass. And so he rage quit, and he gave the game like a whatever, like one of the lowest reviews you could possibly give a game. And a bunch of people called him out for it. Like, well, maybe if you'd have been paying attention, you know, you could have gone and gotten the torch, and then you would have been fine to complete the area. Like, so he eventually retook that down and took it back up because the blowback was so high. That's not quite what FG did, but I do think, because obviously FG, if he wanted to, he could afford the costumes if he really wanted to. I'm free to play. I'm not sure if he's free to play on this game. Whatever, but to me it's an overreaction. Now, he might be disillusioned with other things in the game, and then that basically sent him over the top, which, okay, I understand. I've had similar things happen, but I still do think that's an overreaction personally, but the Nexon is on the bubble for me now, which sucks because, like I said, I'm really having a lot of fun with this game. But they're on the bubble with me because I don't want that to get pushed too far. If that gets pushed too far, I can't support that. Basically, is pretty much what I'm telling you guys. So, anywho, but I'm gonna get into some more videos for this game today, and then we'll be doing some Epic 7 videos. I got a lot to catch up on there. It's actually a good time in Gacha right now for all the games I play. KC too. KC's really interesting. All the year anniversary stuff they got going on with the Awakening. Overhit. I'll show you guys what I'm doing with Overhit in the next couple videos. And Epic 7, they actually have a bunch of events going on. The new season launched not too long ago, and they got a hero coming eventually a little bit. That's going to be our first res blocker in the game, so that should be pretty interesting. But anyways, that's enough for me, and I need to promo myself, because I totally didn't promo myself in any of the other videos I made last week. So yo, I'm Showtime Doctor, Showtime DR. You found my YouTube. Please hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. Yeah, be pumping out a bunch of videos. Check out underneath the video here in the notes. There's a link to my Discord, link to my Twitch. You should know what those are all about by now, and I'll catch you guys later on. Have a great day.